This is an ad by Regain Couples Therapy and features real testimonials.
This was our first time trying therapy, and honestly, it was long overdue. Looking back, we just wish we had started sooner.
Regain's qualified therapists help couples when they can't get there on their own.
We thought it was intimacy issues, but Andrea helped us uncover a deeper root cause we hadn't even realized was there.
Visit regain.com/couplespod to get 10% off your first month. Regain, couples therapy that works.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. Happy July 4th. It is Follow the Money. Yes, we are live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. 3 hours lined up. Awesome show today on a great national holiday. Anthony Irwin from LA coming up in 30 minutes. The Los Angeles Lakers off-season. We'll talk NBA futures with him. VSiN host Scott Seidenberg on NFL futures. Steve Wiss on the CONCACAF Gold Cup, USA and Mexico on Sunday. Wilbo from here at Circa. We'll talk about the best spot you could ever have your fantasy football draft. And Matt Vasgersian here on July 4th talking about today's Major League Baseball card, at least the card that we have coming up tonight. Paulie, happy 4th, buddy. I have not whacked down a dog yet today. I will tonight. Have you?
No. I'll throw at you, what do you want to go with the dog tonight as well? Or do you concur? But I had a big breakfast, so I did not have a dog today. Saw Wilbo running around. He's got a suit on as well.
He's got a suit on July 4th.
Big Balls had the suit on. Incredible. And it was incredible what transpired earlier today. I was shocked with what happened with the women.
Well, that's an all-time stunner.
Yeah.
I mean, we had George Shea on, who, we're talking about him being the best hype man of all time, the guy who does Major League Eating. He's the announcer for the Nathan's Hot Dog Contest. And he's like, if you think Miki Sudo's going to show up just to, whack down 44, 45 dogs, you have no, that's not she's going to come here to beat her record. She's going to come here to whack down 50-plus yet again.
Yep.
And never came close to it.
No, wasn't pushed either. But the gal in second place had 22. So she was struggling at the end, and just like you said afterwards, just get the win and move on. But I thought that was wrong the first time I saw it, to see 33 hot dogs after she had 51 last year. And then you go back and watch it, and she was struggling at the end, and it was hot and humid. And she talked about the temperatures, and maybe something was wrong with the buns. But I can't believe her performance. She wins, but no sweat there, no sweat with Chestnut. But
if you told me that Sudo was going to eat 33 hot dogs, I absolutely would have bet on other women to win it.
Yeah, right. And then
There's
no
one
comes close. Sure. Yeah, that was the shocker.
Right.
But, other people, I would say everyone struggled other than Chestnut when you look at it. So great job by Mickey. She wins again. She's on the show Monday. And now the fun part is, every time we talk to her, it's about previewing and how do you feel and what do you think you're going to do. Now it's the recap. And it's also, how does the body feel? And
how do you go from 51 to 33?
That too, right? And I know her husband was involved as well with Nick, and she says, I don't want to be anywhere near the guy for the next couple of days. So how you unwind and what it's like for the body, and probably different, but she has got an incredible resume. As George mentioned yesterday, 109 hard-boiled eggs in 8 minutes, 71 Twinkies in 6 minutes. How did she do this? 8 pounds of turkey at Foxwoods in 10 minutes.
Well, I don't know how they do any of them.
Yeah, right.
How did Joey Chestnut eat 14 and a half burritos in 10 minutes?
Another good call.
I think he did that last year.
Yeah, you're right. I think it was before a ball game or something. 13 pumpkin pies in 8 minutes, 76 tamales, and 1.5 gallons of chili in 6 minutes. She is the GOAT, and she's on Monday. Good for her.
So I'm also watching Joey live today.
Yep.
And now there's so much to talk about with this guy, right? How good he is coming back, did not participate last year. They had the conflict, and nobody's even close to him. But for that number at books to go from 71.5 and drop to 69.5, now I'm seeing ESPN credit him with 70.5 eating dogs. Others are saying 71. Regardless, there was a middle opportunity there. I saw people on Twitter who were actually sending out tweets before it saying, I'm going to go for a small middle on this. I have under 71.5. Now I'm going to play back on 69.5. And it landed there. So he came a little bit short of his all-time record of 76 a few years ago. But if you watch that event today, in the first 5 minutes, that's a LeBron James triple-double in an NBA Finals game when they absolutely have to have it. That's an all-out blitzkrieg in the first 10 minutes of a basketball game from a team putting on a full-court press and going bombs away from three, and you look up, it's 38-11. Like, what the hell happened? He had 5 minutes in, he was well past 40 hot dogs already.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not sustainable, but my God, there's a path here where he could touch 75, 80 hot dogs. And then he was never pushed, and
That's big, though. That was key as well.
I think so.
Not pushed, and what he went by 26 hot dogs?
Right.
I mean, that's... Yeah.
So until somebody else in the field on the men's side shows that they can get to mid-50s and possibly touch 60, how many years before this guy is going to actually lose the event?
Oh, 1800 seemed like a gift. It does every year, as high as 2,000. But you're right, no one's even close to the guy.
He's lapping the field, Paul.
Yeah. It's a sure thing. Other than the one fluke he had against Stoney, other than that, it hasn't been a problem. And it's just his dominance continues to grow, and these guys can't even come close to him.
That's the thing, right?
He's getting stronger.
He is separating himself from the field.
Yeah.
That's like if Scotty Scheffler goes out at the Open Championship next week and he shoots a 13 under par for the entire tournament, and the next closest guy is even. You're like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. Now, how about the landing spot, though? Congrats if you middled it, but to think it's going to come and land in that spot. And this is still, a lot of people love this and get into it, but to go from 71.5 to 69.5 and it falls in the middle, that's incredible. But
I think,
it goes back to when we always talk about if a spread's 1.5 or 2 in a basketball game, if you want the favorite, take the money line because you'll be stunned how many times the game falls 1 and 2. But this is crazy how that landed.
Sure, and I'm willing to bet that the reason why there was a move late before the men's side started is because how the women struggled. Right? When Mickey's total is, 44.5?
Yeah.
And she goes with 33 and she wins it and nobody's really even that close to her, I think people are like, okay, there's something going on today. The weather conditions are not ideal. Either that or else they're not, the dogs are not consistently hot enough, whatever the story might be. And by the way, Joey was off last year. In the previous 2 years, he ate in the 60s, although those were extenuating circumstances. That's probably why some of the money came in on the under. But again, that landing spot's incredible for him to actually gobble down that many. If this guy wants to eat hot dogs for the next 15 years competitively, this is the ultimate. I need to see it to believe it from somebody else before he's going to lose.
Right. And his performance last year was unbelievable, too, which they did on Netflix, and he destroyed Kobayashi, the performance he put on. So he's just an all-time great.
Did you see?
Fantastic athlete. Good for him.
Yep. Did you see like a spread, like a hot dog spread at all?
Was it? I think I saw 20.5. Was that right? I thought I said it on air at DK.
He was laying 20.5 hot dogs?
I believe so.
Oh, I missed that one.
I thought that's what I saw.
Okay. Well, the funny thing is, like, they're matching him, by the way, in the first couple of minutes. He's at 20. The closest competitors are around, 15. And then it's just like, okay, guys, this was fun. Now here comes the afterburners. And in the next 2.5 minutes, he's more than 40. And nobody else has, more than 22.
Yeah. Well, maybe his most impressive belt when you think about what the others
I don't disagree.
Did. He's the only guy who had a strong performance. So the conditions certainly were an issue. And Mickey can comment on that, too, Monday.
I just think that there's a really good chance here where he is the outlier of all mankind, where he's the one guy that can do this every single year, and we're never going to see another guy. There's no 19-year-old kid or 22-year-old phenom that can touch 60 at this point.
Yeah, but I don't know who aspires to do that, though. I mean, that's interesting. That's a good discussion. Even from the female standpoint about who grows up to be a competitive eater. I mean, who realizes it early? Hey, I can do this. I can eat. I can go to the buffets and sit there for an hour, no problem, and knock all these plates down. But that's something where I don't know what. At one point, you say I can make money doing this, and maybe I have something here because I got to imagine what it's like with training, and then how you feel afterwards. Like Mickey's husband said, think of the normal person, and it's regular, but then it's just a lot more. What we go through in terms of the bathroom the next 3 days. But I can't imagine what that's like.
Well, I'm a little bit out of my element bringing this up. I wonder, and there has to be, and if, by the way, for those of you listening or watching the show today, again, happy July 4th, if you're aware of this, like there's got to be some sort of market where influencers do this kind of thing, right? They do everything. Like there are popular influencers for like any walk of life that you can think of. So I'm just wondering out loud, like right now, is there anybody who's a superstar on Instagram that we've never seen before, like in the competitive eating like venue?
That younger demographic also was like into their looks, and that's the other thing too.
They don't drink, they don't like to gamble,
right,
you know, they have no idea what they're missing out on.
Yeah, but things have changed since COVID, but we were the home of buffets. I hated how I felt after a buffet.
I wouldn't even go to them.
Yeah, but you feel terrible afterwards.
Sure.
Oh, I overdid it. I can't do anything. Can't move for 2 days. Food coma, right? And then what these guys are doing and putting their body through.
Right. Hey, I had 4 plates last night. Now I don't have to eat again until Thursday. Mm-hmm. That was fun.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate myself.
Who knows? Mickey they have a kid. They have a son.
Oh.
I mean, maybe
he's going to be the next boy wonder.
Yes. Be a good question for him Monday. Get the training going, ready? That's the best part about that, too. They're married to one another. So imagine when they're training and getting ready for this, what it's like when they go to Costco. It's just nothing but buns and hot dogs, and that's it. What are you two up to? I mean,
I think we asked Chestnut that one time when he was on a couple of years ago. Like, is this when Elvis would have to rent out, like, a property when he was so big on his own, so he had it by himself? Does he have to, like, rent out the grocery store? Get an escort? Security? Nobody else can be in? And how many carts does he go through?
That's true. How much do you have to buy? Absolutely. Our NFL guide's out. We'll talk about it with Scott coming up. Ton of picks from him. And we preview every team, win total breakdowns, best bets, player props, betting projections, unique props as well. And that's part of our football special. Lock it in 175 through the Super Bowl. Every guide, every best bet, every host, every guest, the 24/7 video, the data and tools as well. The early bird price expires July 31st. Don't wait. Sign up today. Get your copy now. The NFL betting guide, over 90 pages. It's awesome. VSiN.com/subscribe. Every division preview as well. Makinen's numbers. VSiN.com/subscribe. Be part of the team. Tell your family. Tell your friends. Take advantage of this great deal. 175 through the Super Bowl. Get it now.
We do have day baseball Subway Series at Shea City Field, actually. My God. The Mets and Yankees tied at 3 apiece. And the Cubs hit 6 home runs off Michaelis today. They lead 8-1 at Wrigley.
Good. I don't mind in play there. It's late, but the Cubs bullpen has been filthy for 12 games.
We'll get into the evening games up next. They're on fire, one of the best home teams in the league, and one of their key players batted almost 500 this past week.
This is an ad by Regain Couples Therapy. Let's be honest. Loving your partner doesn't mean you always like them, and guess what? That's normal. Regain, powered by BetterHelp, offers couples therapy that's flexible, affordable, and 100% online. Whether you're reconnecting or working through conflict, Regain is here to support you both. See why people wish they'd tried couples therapy sooner. Visit regain.com/couplespod to get 10% off your first month. That's regain.com/couplespod.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Paulie, the big dumper, with another home run today for the Mariners. 34 on the year. Not slowing down.
Wow.
It's one of the best all-time years for somebody before the All-Star break, which is bonkers to me. We'll head out to the Progressive guest line here, talk a little NBA, specifically the LA Lakers, their offseason, what's coming up next. Anthony Irwin joins the program now. Senior Lakers insider at Clutch Points, host of Lakers Lounge. Follow him on X at Anthony Irwin LA. Anthony, good afternoon. Happy 4th. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Just kind of enjoying the holiday. But overall, it's been a nice, long, loud offseason.
Yeah, well said. How would you grade the Lakers offseason to this point?
I would say they're better than they were before the offseason started. So in that sense, I would give them like a C plus, maybe a B. They still have work to do. They need to bring in a wing defender. They need a better point of attack defender. I wasn't thrilled with them bringing back Jackson Hayes because I think they need more diversity in terms of what kinds of centers that they have. Jackson Hayes doesn't really complement DeAndre Ayton very well. So overall, I would say, landing Ayton the way that they did at the number that they did, good addition. Jake LaRivia, solid addition, good, kind of young piece who can get better while you have him on your books. But there's still plenty of work to be done.
Do you want Wiggins?
Yeah, I think so. So here's the thing. Rui Hachimura is probably overqualified to come off of the bench for a team. He's definitely a starting caliber wing. The problem is he defends fours, and Luka defends fours, and LeBron defends fours. And so if you're going to have Rui out there, you're always going to be at a foot speed deficiency. And bringing in Andrew Wiggins, who I think is slightly better than Rui in a vacuum, but then he's specifically better at some of the stuff that the Lakers definitely need. That I think makes a whole bunch of sense if the Lakers are serious about competing for a championship this year.
Okay, yeah, but what do you want to give up for Wiggins, though? What's like a realistic trade there that can happen?
I don't think there is one with Miami. I just think they're kind of a mess of an organization right now. And until they kind of figure out the push and pull between Pat Riley and ownership, and specifically the heiress and son, that I don't think there is any kind of deal that anybody can make with Miami on stuff, unless you're completely overpaying. But what I would be comfortable giving up for Andrew Wiggins would be Rui, Dalton, and an expiring. That's it. Outside of that, I'm not touching any draft capital. If anything, I would be asking for draft capital coming back from Miami, because they're sending the player who has the extra year on his contract that he also controls. It's a player option. So a lot of teams are trying to stay away from player options, especially at I think it's like a $30 million player option. Normally, if a team is trading that kind of a player, they're attaching assets to that contract. In this case, the Heat are asking for draft assets in return for Andrew Wiggins, and that's a bridge or five too far for me.
They need to blow it up and rebuild. I mean, just to make the play-in game, that's just ridiculous how they've been going about this the last couple of years. You have a big following. Yeah, I believe you were the first person on this. Take us through why you think Pelinka made a big mistake and what you reported on with Finney Smith, and also what Laker fans think of Pelinka.
Yeah, so the details on this, essentially, it got back to Dorian Finney-Smith's camp that Pelinka was having conversations about his ankle, his surgically repaired ankle, while the Lakers were negotiating with Smith for his next deal. And Pelinka had conversations with other teams, plural, about Finney-Smith's ankle. Obviously, it's difficult to assign motive here. If you're Finney-Smith, you're going to think that Rob did that to bring your market down. If you're Rob Pelinka, you might have just overshared in a conversation with another GM. And regardless of what the motive might be, it's still the same act. And I think it's still irresponsible of Rob to have that conversation with another team and give up that kind of information. And how do Lakers fans feel about Pelinka? He's a roller coaster. At one turn, he's trading for Russell Westbrook. At another, he's trading for Luka Doncic. He's he just kind of, I think he kind of grades out in general to about a C. But the problem is it's what happens when it weighed out an A and an F. it would be a lot easier, I think, to root for Rob Pelinka teams if it was kind of more of a steadier C. That got you there, or ideally, and what the hope is with Mark Walter and Guggenheim buying the Lakers is eventually they'll give him more resources to work with, so that floor isn't an F; it'll be more of a C, so that the A and the C weighed out to a B, and he's a above average executive.
Very good. It's Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Anthony Irwin, senior Lakers insider at Clutch Points, host of Lakers Lounge. Follow him on X at Anthony Irwin LA. There are reports out there suggesting that the Suns could buy out Bradley Beal. If that happens, do you think the Lakers will go after him?
They'll kick the tires. They don't really have anything to work with, though. They used all of their mid-level exception money. And from what I've seen, I think Bradley Beal is going to have to take upwards of $14 million less than he is owed from the Suns. So I would imagine he'd be looking to recoup that amount of money. And I think some team out there would be willing to allow him to recoup more of that money than the Lakers can allow him to recoup. The most, I guess they can offer the veteran minimum. They have their biannual exception, which is for about $5 million. So then Bradley Beal is out $9 million. And this is the same guy who has been reluctant to even part with his no trade clause. Yep. So I don't see a fit there financially.
People in Phoenix say it won't work. People in Portland think it will. Do you think Ayton will be a good fit and we'll get a guy who's going to buy in and play hard, knowing that a team just bought him out and other teams have passed on him? If this will work with Ayton and he can become the Lakers, be a top 4 seed in the West, how do you see this working out?
I think it'll be fine. I don't know if it'll be a Disney movie where he completely resuscitates his career and he's an all-star and he looks like the number 1 overall pick wasn't a big mistake. I wouldn't go that far, but I also don't think it'll be a disaster either. I think it'll be fine, which isn't exactly exciting radio, so my apologies. But the thing with Ayton is that Phoenix, I think, set him on a path that made his career very difficult to navigate. First off, Robert Sarver, the Phoenix Suns, they told him, hey, if you do all of the little things, you set good, hard screens, you roll hard to the basket, you defend well, you defend the rim, you block shots, you rebound, you do all of those things, and you do it at a high level for us, we will give you whatever extension or contract that you're looking for. And he did those things, and he wasn't given the contract. So from there, he's like, well, how do I actually get the contract that I was looking for? And for most bigs, they think I need to do it through isolation moves in the post and highlight reel plays that might put me out of position and make me less of a solid player. And then on top of it, how do you ever trust your franchise again after they do that to you? So I think he became pretty cynical in Phoenix as a result of that whole failed negotiation. And then he gets traded to Portland after Portland trades Dame. So he's not in a tanking organization there. I don't know how you necessarily make that work. So based on the situation change, and now he's going to play with Luka and maybe with LeBron and with Austin Reeves, and he's going to have these creators on a team that's trying to win. I think he's very much a product of his surroundings, and his surroundings now are going to be better than they've been since he played on a finals team early in his career.
Well said.
You just said maybe play with LeBron?
I honestly, I am pretty sure LeBron is going to be a Laker. It's just those things where that I'm like 90% sure, 95 even percent sure. It's a loud 5% though.
Okay.
And he had those pictures today. He's golfing in Cleveland wearing a welcome home hat, and he's taking pictures of himself in the Cavs facility with rookies and stuff. And yeah, he does that every year. And he said that he does that every year. He doesn't take pictures there every year. And I think that with everything going on here and him not feeling like he's the center of the universe for the Lakers and seeing tangibly that they have plans beyond his tenure there, I do think there's some tension between him and the Lakers organization. And I think that's going to be really difficult to get by. I think the fact that they signed Ayton, their starting center, they filled a hole that they desperately needed to fill, and he hasn't acknowledged it publicly. That's not normal for LeBron. So I'm pretty sure, I'm like 95% sure he's back with the Lakers, but it's a loud 5 to 10% chance that he is.
Okay. Anthony, awesome spot as always. Thanks for the time. Happy holidays, okay?
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Thank
or
you.
happy holiday, that is. That's Anthony Irwin. Clutch Points, Lakers Lounge host as well. Win, lose up next. I'll give you some more insight on the big, beautiful bill from one of the best professional gamblers we've ever had on the show next.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Good to have you on board. Happy July 4th. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss, Paulie Howard. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino in this hour, coming up in 15 minutes. 17 straight unders going on with a game tonight in Major League Baseball. Bottom of the hour, Matt Vasgersian, MLB Network, with his look at some bets tonight on the schedule. And here, Wilbo joins the program from Stadium Swim, Circa Las Vegas. Man about town here. Good to see you, pal. How are you today?
I'm fantastic, man. Thanks for having me. Happy 4th of July.
You bet.
You got it.
You came on with us a couple of weeks ago in Omaha. You were talking, and you did some damage with the Jello shots, right?
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, it really did. So you're good at that kind of thing. Today was obviously the annual Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. Chestnut did not disappoint.
Of course not.
What can you do? Like, what are we talking about for hot dogs? 10, 15 minutes.
Oh man, it's tough, especially in that heat. I mean, that is a very tough test. I can't do 70 and a half. I'll tell you that right now. I think I could go 1 a minute. I think I could at least do that. Especially if there's some money on the line. I think I can get up to 10, 15 for sure.
Yeah, interesting.
I think I'm doing that for
with
sure.
the cash angle. You have that motivation.
100%.
And also, if you get like a 6-pack in you and you go without missed
I
lunch.
mean, multiple times stumbling down Fremont Street, and I've probably had about 5 American Coney Island dogs, and in about 4 minutes, anyways. So I think I can do that. I think I can do that.
Why not?
There you go.
Yeah. So there's a contest coming up tonight.
Yep.
That's going to be really, really cool here at Circa.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people listening right now, watching the show. Well, they don't live in Las Vegas, but still, kind of like to live through the people here vicariously is a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Weenies and Bikinis contest tonight.
Yes. Yeah.
Second annual.
Second annual Weenies and Bikinis contest up at Stadium Swim. We're super excited about it. 10 contestants. $5,000 prize pool, $2,500 to first place, $1,500 to second place, and $1,000 to third place. So, pretty good odds that you're going to be in the money, out of only 10 contestants, invite only. It is a all-female contestant panel as well. That's where you get the Weenies and Bikinis name from. So it's fun. I mean, we're completely sold out. Our PM reservations start at 5 o'clock, and we are already getting people showing up for it. So it's going to be hilarious. It's going to be beautifully disgusting. I think it's going to be a very fun night tonight. And we're actually going to be doing picture-in-picture, on the screen. We'll be filming it, and it'll be on the main screen at Stadium Swim. So anyone that doesn't have right in the front row, they will be able to literally see it on that massive screen at Stadium Swim.
That's well done.
Yeah.
And the people in the industry will get after it and spend some money. So good job there. What do you think takes it down tonight?
So last year, it was the winner 8:15, but she was a ringer kind of, and we didn't know she was a professional leader. So that's not going to happen this year. With 10 contestants, I'm going over/under at 6.5 for the winner.
And they get 5 minutes?
They get 5 minutes. They get 5 minutes to eat. That's correct.
What do you think?
I'm going to go under that number.
I gotta go
Yeah.
I'll bet you a beer goes under 6.5.
All right, I'll take the bet.
You want to do that?
I'll take the bet.
Yeah, I think that's these are all amateurs.
All amateurs. All amateurs. No one is returning from last year either. These are all 10 new contestants as well. So the funny part about last year is that there was a tie for third place.
Oh.
A tie for third place with 3. And there was 4 girls that tied with 3. And the funniest part is that the tiebreaker is a 1 hot dog
eat off
to where whoever finishes that hot dog the fastest,
I'm telling you,
gets that third place $1,000.
How did that? If they struggled to get past 3, then how'd that eat off go?
Oh, it was so painful to watch, but
reversal. You have the reversal. You don't want to have it. Yep.
I mean, I guarantee these girls are running for the bathroom after. But we'll make sure that everything is needed and everyone's safe while doing this for sure.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you just don't want to have an accident out there. That's the last thing you want. I can't believe how busy it was you put it on social media last weekend for the UFC at the pool.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, it was madness. So what do you expect from UFC 318? And where are you at?
318, July 19th. Get the BMF title, right? It should be another complete sellout for UFC 318. We've been very fortunate to, have these watch parties up at Stadium Swim. Yeah,
wow.
Right here you see it. I expect to be that exact busy, busy as that, if not busier. So complete buyout, complete, sellouts. And that's kind of been the case for every UFC, especially during the summer up at Stadium Swim.
I was shocked at the prices. I can get a cabana with my buddies all day, Saturday, UFC, $4,000.
Yeah, $4,000.
The whole day.
Well, yeah, from 8 a.m. all the way up until the end of the fight's probably around 11:15. Yep. So
15 hours.
15 hours.
I can't believe
15
it.
hours,
And-
$4,000. Yep.
And then you can have how many guys to a cabana?
We allow up to like 14. So you could really,
That's right.
spread.
And you sit there, just go up, then that's going to be $4,000 that you're going to meet with the food and the drink.
Yeah, it's not a rental fee or anything. It's just a minimum. It's a required minimum spend. So you're just required to spend $4,000 on food and beverage.
Oh my God, you get 10 guys together for a cabana. Hello, the math is simple there. And you get it for 15 hours. That includes like a big UFC card.
For sure.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't get me wrong, the demand is, it's basic supply and demand. So prices might tier up from this 4K.
Yeah. How do you handle the Open Championship? And I know you did a great job with the Masters. How do you do the viewing party here where it's the timings goes early, and I think you guys open at 8 a.m.?
Yeah, well, for Stadium Swim, we will open up at 8 a.m. We're not going to open up any earlier than that for the Open. But, we're going to have it all over the screen, especially at that point in time where there's really not much going on besides some baseball games.
True.
It's going to be center screen. We'll have all the different holes available up on the screen. Then obviously in the sportsbook here, we will be showing that. That sportsbook doesn't close. So we'll be open and ready for the Open.
For sure.
At tee-off.
Do you know, top of your head, now this is a couple of months down the line, but I would imagine week 1, specifically in the NFL, is an absolute monster. What do you guys get for cabanas for that week?
Well, it's my favorite weekend of the whole entire year, to be completely honest, just because football's back. And we're probably getting anywhere from we're starting cabanas at $6K. But then we'll end up selling up to our normal cabanas. They'll go anywhere from 10 to 12. But we have our owner suites that you can fit about like 30 people in. Those are going from 20 to 25K.
And people can book those right now?
Oh, yeah.
At Circle Las
100%.
Vegas?
You can book all of football season all the way up until the end of January right now.
Excellent. And here's what I would recommend, by the way. So, and I know that we have a couple of months left, but if you're hemming and hawing and you don't know what to do for your fantasy football party, I would tell you right now, the best thing that you could ever do is to bring your group that you're with, right, the league that you're in, everybody fly to Las Vegas and get a cabana one day, probably on the weekend if you can. If not, doesn't matter. Have your fantasy football draft at a cabana at Stadium Swim. You can't beat that.
No, you can't. And, we just kind of started doing it. I'm a massive fantasy football guy. So I'm like, why aren't we throwing fantasy football draft parties out here? So it comes with the draft kit. It comes with the stickers. It comes with all this stuff.
Yeah.
We have the whiteboard. You just get the cabana. You purchase the draft package. And, those Saturdays in August, like every single cabana will have a whiteboard doing a fantasy draft. So it is just a complete fantasy football draft party outside of your own. Everyone else is doing one as well. So it's a blast.
I remember when I was first getting into fantasy football, we would have them in basements.
Right.
Like on a Wednesday night, and we'd have like old Milwaukee on hand. And like there's 8 guys down there, and it would reek like a high school locker room. And you're like, okay, this is fun. But now, like Stadium Swim, I can't imagine like how awesome that's got to be compared to like what people are used to.
Yeah, can't beat it. I mean, I don't know if you're popping bottles of champagne in your basement. That you're definitely going to be doing that at Stadium Swim.
With Taryn or Sydney as well.
Exactly.
Coming over. If you want to book your fantasy, if you want a cabana or a spot here behind us at the best sports book in the world, CircleLasVegas.com. Reach out to Wilbo. Get at him on Instagram as well, CircleLasVegas.com. You make any bets? You high on anyone this upcoming NFL football season?
I haven't got there yet. No, I haven't done any NFL. I mean, obviously, I'm a diehard Lions fan. Always have been. So I'm excited to see how this. I mean, this is it's going to be a tough season, especially for the Lions.
I agree.
Playing that first seed schedule with everything they have and all those games and on the road. Yeah. So. But I do love. I'm taking the over on the Ravens. I think if I were to make a Super Bowl bet, it'd be Ravens versus Lions.
I hope you're right, but that's I don't know. I just think you have too much to overcome. You lose
agree.
both coordinators. The schedule's brutal.
Yeah, the coordinators though.
You don't think that's a big deal?
I think we had good people behind them. I think in terms of the offensive coordinator, obviously Ben Johnson was a wizard, but he got too cute and he was a little arrogant at sometimes. That's why we lost the playoff game. So I think Brad Holmes and Campbell have built this staff around a team that should be around for a while.
I like what you said though in the AFC. And I'm super high on them as well. Tough not to be, right?
Right.
Most people are going to make the case for the Bills. I mean, their path to me, because of the division, to get the 1 seed overall, I think is. But the Ravens are loaded to the gills again this year.
Yeah. I mean, you make the same thing about the Bills with the Ravens. It's about time. They finally get to the Super Bowl. So, I like both of them, but I'm definitely leading the Ravens.
And watch what's going to happen. This is going to be the year when finally everybody's fading Kansas City. Can't do it. Not going to happen again. All those one-score games. 14-3 again. Here you go. 1 seed and probably make the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, we can only hope that doesn't happen, but it most likely will.
Yes.
I agree with you.
Great job. Good to see you.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me on for this 4th of July.
Let me know. Put that on social media. I want to see and text us what the record is. Or
Oh,
the
100%.
We've got to bet on that.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. Last year we were trying to pull footage from the hot dog eating contest. Of the contestants during it. We're like, we can't post this. Like, this is gross, but it is hilarious, and it's a beautiful spectacle. Because what's more American than eating hot dogs on the 4th of July?
Well, and they're in bikinis, right?
Exactly, and they're in bikinis.
Well done.
There you go. All right, Wilbo, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
There you go. All right, it's Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Again, coming up in about 20 minutes, Matt Vasgersian. We'll look at tonight's card with him from MLB Network. Up next, we'll go down the games tonight, the night session of games. 17 straight unders when this team is involved. I'll give you the details on that next here on VSiN.
This is an ad by Regain Couples Therapy and features real testimonials.
This was our first time trying therapy, and honestly, it was long overdue. Looking back, we just wish we had started sooner.
Regain's qualified therapists help couples when they can't get there on their own.
We thought it was intimacy issues, but Andrea helped us uncover a deeper root cause we hadn't even realized was there.
Visit regain.com/couplespod to get 10% off your first month. Regain, powered by BetterHelp.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But DC politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Doesn't get much more American than Major League Baseball. On July 4th, have a hot dog, have a beer, have a slice of apple pie, whatever you want to do today. And we'll talk more about it here as the great Matt Vasgersian joins the program, does a bang-up job on MLB Network, and he is on the Progressive Guest Line. Matt, happy 4th. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Yeah, happy 4th, guys. I'm great. Watching these early games, everything went over the total, except for this Mariners-Pirates game, because the Pirates just refused to score runs, and the Mariners aren't exactly the 32 Yankees either.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because I wanted to start there with you as well. His MVP odds are moving today based on another terrific game. The big dumper, Cal Raleigh, with 2 home runs, 35 as a catcher now on the year. When he hit his second one, Matt, we looked immediately for the odds. He was still plus 950, down to 8-1. Can this happen in your opinion? Can he really overtake Aaron Judge and win the AL MVP at the end of the year?
I mean, can it? Sure. If he out homers Judge, he's going to get some consideration. The problem is Judge is going to have better numbers just about everywhere else. And I still give Cal Raleigh all the credit, but the wear and tear that he takes at that position to maintain that kind of profile offensively while catching 60 games after the break man, if he does it, that give him special props. But he's got a burden that Judge doesn't have because he has to catch.
I wonder if voters will take that into consideration as well. The fact that he is playing that position.
They should.
Right?
I think they should. I just wonder about the drop-off, the wear and tear.
I know.
Man, I know that, when Piazza was putting up those massive numbers, when he was doing what Raleigh's doing, the second half drop-off was real. And I hope he can avoid it because I'd love to have an actual race for AL MVP. That'd be fun.
You also call Angels games. Can you believe this? 500 ball in the mix. It could be buyers at the deadline. How about what your Angels are doing?
Let me tell you, if you were to ask the common fan, if you were to ask me, which team is going to be the only team on July 4th to only use 4 starters, I sure would not have said the Los Angeles Angels. They're the only team that's used the same dudes all 5 spots in the rotation. I mean, they've been phenomenal. Jose Soriano goes over his K-prop yesterday. Knuckle curve was fabulous. It looked like Kyle Hendricks after his first month or so might not get this far into the season in an Angel uniform. He's been really good, and he knows how to pitch. He's fun to watch, man. And if I'm game planning that game tonight, and I'm going to watch that because it's going to be fun because the Jays are red hot right now. Springer's on fire, but the guy that I'd worry about is Addison Barger because he wears out off speed. He's got an expected slug of over 900 against off speed. And Kyle Hendricks he throws a higher changeup percentage to left-handed batters than anybody in the sport. So Barger's going to get off speed tonight, and he's red hot. And that would be the guy that if I'm the Angels coaching staff, I'd be worried most about.
That is a terrific little nugget. I'm thinking of shopping around as soon as we hit in-pocket plays coming up in about 15 minutes. Look, White Sox, Rockies, 2 of the worst teams in baseball. White Sox, worst team of all time last year. Rockies going to probably beat them out this year. But this can maybe make for some sort of a fun series and maybe create some bets that people actually want to make. For example, you like something tonight between these 2 teams. What is it, Matt?
Yeah, we'll just call that the Turd Bowl, the White Sox and Rockies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my God, to think that somebody's going to lap the White Sox in losses just a year later. Antonio Senzatella pitching tonight for Colorado. He, among the things that have been hit the hardest in his repertoire is his sinker and his changeup. So if you look for White Sox who are good against a right-handed sinker and changeup, the guy that pops up is Brooks Baldwin, and he's batting in the middle of the lineup tonight. He homered last night against Dustin May, broke up his shutout with a 2-run homer in L.A. Switch hitter, young second-year player, and I don't think Senzatella has anything for him. So I don't know what numbers would be on Brooks Baldwin going over, if you could find him at a half a total base, I think that'd be pretty tasty. It's in Denver, so, offensive fireworks, and he'd be my guy there, Brooks Baldwin.
Deep cut, like it. I'll look
deep
for those.
Cut. Deep cut. I got a homer that I like tonight too, by the way, because we're all on this fade the Guardians train. They've been really bad, man, and they're not only bad; they're a bad watch. They got guys that are cold, and when your best player, Jose Ramirez, is 0 for 21, and you're not sure if he's hurt or not because he hasn't gotten a hit since he's been hit in the forearm by Kevin Gausman last week. They're in bad shape. The problem is pitching for the Tigers tonight is Reese Olson, who it's his first start in a while. He made 3 rehab starts because he had a finger injury. So he made 3 rehab starts, but he hasn't made a rehab start in 9 days. I know he's played catch. I know he's had bullpens, but he hasn't been on a game mound in 9 days. So instead of just laying the juice on Detroit, what about finding a Riley Green prop somewhere? Because Riley Green's sweet spot for power is on the road versus right-handed pitching and at night. And Slade Ciccone, who's on the mound for the Guardians, checks all those boxes. Not to mention, Slade Ciccone has a opposing OPS of 850 against lefties, opposing slug over 500 against lefties. And Riley Green's DHing tonight, where he's hit 5 homers in 13 games as a DH. So, I mean, it kind of lines up for Riley Green tonight to do something pretty fun. I was worried about, DHing. But then I looked at it and I'm like, man, 5 homers in 13 games at that spot. He doesn't mind not playing defense at all.
Plus 350. Let's take it. Plus 350 to go deep.
Plus 3. That's all. That's all you get.
I know.
Man, these numbers hack me off, man. God.
They're not giving you much on Baldwin either. They have 2 hits. You know, he's like $3 to have a hit. I know, but that's tough too. But you're right. How bad it's been. Lost 7 in a row. Outscored 38-12. And you mentioned the funk that Ramirez is in and couldn't score against the Cubbies yesterday.
Yeah, they're not going to do anything if he's hurt. I mean, it's worse. It's worse than what it looks like too, because in the 7-game losing streak, they've been shut out 4 times. And here are 2 numbers that are really concerning for the Guardians. They're 3 for 33 during that losing streak with runners in scoring position. So the rate is terrible, right? 3 for 33 is a terrible rate. But they've only had 33 at bats with a runner in scoring position in the last week in 7 games. That's no good.
No, that's brutal. Follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest, Matt Vasgersian, MLB Network. What do you want to make of Lance McCullers tonight going against this Dodgers offense?
Yeah, Lance McCullers has been pretty good. That to me feels like a stay away from game for whatever reason. I mean, it's just so easy to say the Dodgers to score over 5 runs every night. But McCullers has been pretty good against the Dodgers.
Yep.
He hasn't given up a run on the road. I know he's coming off a clunker, so if you like a buy low spot, and I don't know. And Ben Kasperius, I like that dude, man. He's one of the Dodgers depth guys that keeps them floating. Like this Justin Robleski. I don't know if you've seen him throw the ball. My God, this guy's from outer space. Big, huge left-hander with sink. Forget it. I think that Dodger game's a stay away from tonight for me.
Mookie Betts props look good. He's owned McCullers. What do you think of Mizorowski?
Yeah, I mean, boy, you know, it's fun to watch when a guy like that, when he fires early in his career, and he's really elevated the kind of the vibe at American Family Field too. People love watching him pitch, and the Brewers, to get a guy like that after the players they lost in free agency this year, I love the fact that they reloaded with a kind of a gate attraction starter.
Yeah. Hey, Matt, we have about 2 minutes left here. We kicked this around earlier in the show. With Kershaw getting strikeout number 3,000 the other night, if Sale doesn't get there, and he needs more than 400 right now, Garrett Cole doesn't get there, let's pretend for a second that neither one of those guys reached that mark. Will we ever see it again in our lifetime?
No, I don't think so. I really don't. I mean, the way starting pitching is used these days, you're going to get guys that flash. Everybody's like, what about Skeens? You know, what about some of these? I mean, you hope Skeens is around long enough to get to 2,000. But 3,000 strikeouts, I mean, it used to be that the benchmark for a big strikeout season was 220, 250. You know, Schilling used to do that pretty regularly, guys in that era. Now you might get a couple of guys north of 200 strikeouts in a year, a few guys. I mean, Spencer Strider, look at him. He's going tonight, by the way. He would have been the guy that we would have said 2 years ago, he's got a chance at 3,000 strikeouts. And then he has surgery. He misses 1.5 years of his career. He's interesting tonight, by the way. 7.5 is a big number, but he's facing the Orioles tonight, and the Orioles have their 5 highest strikeout rate players all starting. Strider's last 4, 13, 8, 8, and then he had 4 in his last start. Big whiff rate on his slider, and there are a couple guys in that Baltimore lineup that whiff harder on the slider. So if you have a stomach for a big number, 7.5 on Spencer Strider could be a fun sweat tonight.
You could you could ladder him a little bit, go over 7.5, 8.5, and 9.5, and just make smaller bets on the bigger numbers like that too.
Ooh, that sounds like a lot of fun, actually. Get me to the window with an alias, as I like to say.
Yeah, there you go. Matt, happy 4th. Great as always. Thanks for the time.
Good talking to you guys. Talk to you soon.
You too.
Be good.
Great info.
There you go. Matt Vasgersian, MLB Network. Up next, In Pocket Plays coming at you. Follow the money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is an ad by Regain Couples Therapy and features real testimonials.
This was our first time trying therapy, and honestly, it was long overdue. Looking back, we just wish we had started sooner.
Regain's qualified therapists help couples when they can't get there on their own.
We thought it was intimacy issues, but Andrea helped us uncover a deeper root cause we hadn't even realized was there.
Visit regain.com/couplespod to get 10% off your first month. Regain, couples therapy that works.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com.